Hi, I'm Dr. Celia Stall-Meadows, and I'm here to explain grading rubrics. What is a grading rubric? Rubrics are defined as a scoring tool that details the expectations for an assignment. A rubric divides the assignment into what are called grading criteria, just parts, and specifically describes the amount of work and content needed to master each part. Instructors should specify everything they want from students in the assignment. So if it's important enough to grade on it, it needs to be a line item on the grading rubric. A rubric or a scoring tool for an online class assignment might look like this. In its simplest form, you have your list of grading criteria. For example, the instructor expects an introductory paragraph as well as thorough responses to the different questions. There are possible points assigned. The introductory paragraph is worth 3 points. In this case, the student only earned 2. Benefits of grading with rubrics. Students know exactly what the instructor is looking for in an assignment. The rubric shows the relative weight of each graded criteria. For example, the introductory paragraph is weighted more heavily than the concluding paragraph. And there you see the concluding paragraph was only worth 2 points. The introductory paragraph is worth 3. So if a student is trying to decide which one she has time to do, she might want to choose the introductory paragraph because it's worth 1 extra point. Students know the performance standards, how many points they may earn for the introduction, and that the instructor won't deduct more than 3 points for a missing introduction. It's only worth 3 points. Another benefit of rubrics, grading consistency is maintained. From the first paper graded through the last paper graded, a rubric helps ensure that the instructor's grading standards don't change. That's something that we find we start to get tired. Either we start to award more points for something or fewer points for something, but our grading standards may change throughout the entire grading process if we've got 60 papers to grade. So this helps us maintain fairness, even if there are multiple graders, like you have an assistant to help you grade. Another benefit of rubrics, grading is faster. The more detailed a rubric, the faster the grading time and the less frequently the instructor duplicates long written grading comments. It's not unusual to have multiple students making similar errors, so a rubric reduces the need to write long explanations over and over again and on every paper. If you seem to see some reoccurring mistakes, you can simply add that as a grading criteria. Not only will it make things faster to grade, but you'll find that more students include the item that had been missing simply because you added it as a line item for the grading criteria. Another benefit, rubrics show instructors where the holes are in the assignment instructions. If I had not included a grading criteria called introductory paragraph, the students might have failed to include that part or some other part. Especially if I thought it was important, it needs to be a line item. Another benefit, rubrics provide a picture of the class strengths and weaknesses. Once the grading is completed for a class, a perusal of score sheets shows areas that were consistently above or below an acceptable level. Another benefit of grading rubrics, students often submit better assignments, and this is one of my favorites. They tend to create their assignments following the guidelines of the rubrics. Here's an example of a detailed rubric. It was for an online discussion forum worth 30 points, and so the students get 20 points for their initial post, and then they get 5 points for each peer response, assuming that the peer responses are substantial, respectful, appropriate, relevant, new information. So you go from an A work all the way down to an F or a failing grade, depending on the quality of the information that they posted in the online forum. So it's time to get started. It's not rocket science, but it is a win-win proposition. Give it a try. Take one assignment, the one that you hate grading, and create a grading rubric for it. Any assignment over 10 points is rubric worthy, and I would encourage you to start somewhere, and students will appreciate it, you will appreciate it, and time spent on tasks other than grading will be increased. Thank you for your attention.